Hello, and welcome to another power-packed Phillips podcast. Today's podcast is going to be on lesson 6.7, part 1. 6.7, part 1. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about graphing linear inequalities on the coordinate grid. But before we do that, let's take a look at this problem. Which ordered pair is not a solution of x minus 3y is less than or equal to 6? So we want to know which of the ordered pairs makes a false statement. So to solve a problem like this, I'm simply going to substitute any ordered pair into the inequality. Maybe I'll just play this sound every time Mr. Phillips uses a good vocabulary word, and he should get a shot. So I'm going to substitute 6 for the variable x and -1 for the variable y. When I do that, I have 6 minus 3 times, touching the variable y, -1 less than or equal to 6. I'm going to follow the order of operations. Remember, I'm looking for the one that is false in this case. If I plug in an ordered pair and it makes it true, if it's true, then it is a solution. If it's false, it is not a solution. When I simplify and follow order of operations, a negative times a negative is a positive. I then have 6 plus 3 is less than or equal to 6. Well, I know that the integer, real number, rational number, whole number, natural number, 9 is not less than or equal to 6. So because 9 is not less than or equal to 6, this is what we call a false statement. If the ordered pair makes a false statement, then the ordered pair is not on the line or the inequality, and it's not a solution. If you would, please take a moment to draw a coordinate grid on a piece of graph paper. Now that you have your coordinate grid drawn on your graph paper, let's take a brain break. Hopefully, you can bust the moves on the EOC like this guy busts the move. I think if you have moves like that guy on the EOC, you will definitely pass it. When you're asked to graph an inequality on a coordinate grid, follow these simple steps. Step number 1, graph the inequality like it is an equation written in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Decide if the line will be solid or dashed. If it has an equal to underneath it, it will be solid. If there's no equal to sign underneath it, it will be dashed. Step number 3. Decide where to shade. Shade above if the inequality is greater than or greater than or equal to. Likewise, you will need to shade below if the inequality is less than or equal to. So let's graph the inequality. Y is greater than 4x minus 3. Step number 1. I'm going to pretend that this inequality sign is really an equal to sign. So I'm going to pretend that I'm graphing y equals 4x minus 3. Remember that negative 3 is where you're going to start. That is your y-intercept. So for my visual people, I will start at negative 3. Remember, I will start at negative 3 on the y-axis. Now I will go back and look at the coefficient touching the variable x. The number touching the letter x is my slope. So in this case, my slope happens to be 4. Remember that slope is made up of two things, a rise and a run. Remember, if your slope is positive, we are going to rise. So 4 is positive, so I'm going to go up 4. Remember that if your slope does not have a denominator, you can give it a denominator of 1. Remember, 1 is not prime, and 1 is not composite. So for my visual people, I'm going to start at my y-intercept, go up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. I'm then going to go back and look at my inequality sign. I see that my inequality sign is not equal to. Since it's not equal to, I will have a dotted line. The last thing I'm going to ask myself, if it is greater than or greater than equal to, that's right. If it's greater than or equal to, shade above. In this case, it is greater than, so I am going to shade above. So that means anything to the left of the line, anything above is a solution. You do not have to write this inequality down, but this is for my visual people. If the problem was less than, because this is less than, y is less than 4x minus 3, I would shade to the right, or I would shade below. If you can remember those 3 simple steps on the EOC, graph the inequality like it's an equation written in slope-intercept form, decide if it's going to be solid or dashed, decide where to shade. You will be as successful as the 2014-2015 New England Patriots.